So we've talked about all kinds of things so far when we've been discussing America becoming a industrial superpower. And we're going to continue the conversation today. Instead of talking about natural resources or technology or inventions or railroads, we're going to be talking about how we became an industrialized society after the Civil War to big business. That's right, the rise of big business. So, entire lesson today is going to be talking about how these corporations, these different companies that are out there, owned by lots of different people but treated like it were a person, how these gigantic big business corporations are going to redefine what it means to be an American company and redefine what it means to be a business in terms of the amount of money that American companies make. So, what's this whole concept of a corporation like Exxon or Bradley's or Giant or any of these kinds of companies that's out there that's owned by a lot of different people but treated by law as if it were a person? How does that even work? And the answer is actually pretty darn simple. So what you have here is a company, Exxon, and I represented it with this yellow square. And Exxon right now is owned by just one person. Doot, 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 doot. One person owns Exxon right now. But let's say that one person wants to raise a little money for big projects. He can sell a part of his company as a stock certificate, or also known as a share. He's sharing a part of his company with somebody else. Now, Exxon is owned by two different people. And in exchange for the share, the one owner got money. So, like, it would be like, let's say, Mr. D owning all of Exxon and selling a part of it for money to Mrs. Davenport. And what that means then is that now Exxon's owned by two people. Well, you can do this as many times as you want. If you want to spread the risk more and more and more, you can sell and resell this company as many times as you want. And for each portion of the company that you are selling, each share of the company that you're selling, the company raises money. Now the question is, what do I do with that money? So we went from Exxon, which had one owner, to now Exxon has 16 owners, in this little example anyway. And you can do this, and some companies have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of owners, depending on how many shares of stock they sell. So, what and how does this connect to what we've been discussing? Well, these companies begin to sell more and more and more stock to people, allowing them to get larger and larger, allowing them to hire larger workforces, increase efficiency, build and invent new technology. When a company does this, when a company like Exxon goes out and raises all of this money, they're able to increase in size so much that it becomes much, much easier for them to produce goods. Think about it like this. If Exxon were a teeny tiny little country, or a little company rather, it would be really hard for it to make something and sell something and buy something. But the larger Exxon gets, the larger and larger it gets, well, then the easier and easier it's going to be for Exxon to get what's called an economy of scale, where you'll see lower costs and increased production. The biggest reason for this is the ability to do things in bulk. Whether it's buy resources or supplies in bulk or to ship in bulk. Either way, that allows you to save a little money. Think about it like Costco, right? With Costco, you go and you buy like 1,000 rolls of toilet paper. Well, that's cheaper. Why? Because the company that was sending 1,000 rolls of toilet paper was able to negotiate a cheaper price because it's guaranteed business. It's able to say to Costco, all right, I'm making paper towels. I'm going to sell them to you for cheaper because I can guarantee you'll have 10,000 of them in your store. And Costco turns around and says to us, well, we can sell them cheaper because we've got 10,000. That is called an economy of scale. And it's pretty simple the way it works. Here's a little chart that helps you understand how it works. Here's what it costs a company to make something. Here's the output, the quantity that it makes. It's able to make more and more and more for a cheaper price than it is if it was going to make only a little, right? So up here, the cost would be higher and the output would be lower. But the more you buy in bulk, the more you ship in bulk, the better rates people will give you, the better discounts they'll give you. So all of a sudden you're able to produce it at a lower cost and you can produce more of them, which means you're going to be able to sell more of them. This is the really, really, really first foundation of America getting bigger businesses, because more and more companies like Exxon are going to sell shares. They're going to invest in technology and factories. They're going to invest in economy of scale so that they can produce more at